When I first made this little heater, I was trying to find a way of doing an easy like dripper sight valve, and I like the way it's turned out, so I thought I would show you guys how I made this and the parts needed. And there's my little heater, suited up as usual. So the parts I used for my last valve on my other heater was a 15mm gate valve, two 15mm to 8mm reducers, two 15 to 8mm internal reducers, two of these the 15mm pipe inserts for like flexi flow stuff, piece of 15mm external 12.5mm internal see-through tube, and a couple of bits of copper tube. And I've added a piece of 22mm copper tube this time because I want to try something slightly different to make it look prettier. So let's begin. First thing you're going to want to do is separate your gate valve, and I've already done it, but add a small niche into the gate valve. Now what I do is I put a larger niche on the side that the flow will come from, and a smaller one on the side that is going to. It allows me to control the flow slightly better. Right, so once you've done your niche, you can reassemble your valve. Now, due to the fact if you could find 8mm tap valves like this, it would be a lot easier, but I just can't find them anywhere. So what we've got to do is assemble our reducer valve, well, internal reducer kit. Right, so the way it works, put a few bits on first, drop it in, olive other half your reducer compression valve, and then push it together and bring the compression nut down. I'm not going to tighten these up fully because it's going to be awkward as hell with there being a camera in front of me. Or I'll do it off camera each time. Right, so that's that bit done. The next bit is literally, we're going to do it again, right, in the other end. Right, we're going to take the reducing valve and assemble it into it. Right. And once again I will tighten this up off camera. So we now have basically, if you could buy an 8mm gate valve, which I can't seem to find anywhere, this would be your starting point if you had an 8mm gate valve. So next step is I'm going to cut two niches to make a point in the end of this, and you'll understand why in a minute. See, it's all I've done. Now I didn't do this on my last one, but I'm doing this one. The reason why I'm doing it this time is because I found in my sight glass occasionally the drip will drip off to the side and make my sight glass dirty. So I figured let's change it up a little bit. So I'm going to turn these into sort of a dripper guide, we'll call it. I'm just going to bring them together, and the drip can form now. I'll clean that up with a needle file in a minute, but it will cause the drip to form in the centre of the tube rather than at the side. Next thing you need to do is down inside of this reducer there's a little lip. It needs to be drilled out, so I'm just going to quickly drill that out now and I'll get back to you. Right, so just try and focus it. You see the little lip down in there? We've got to remove it. Right, that's that done. And basically what it's for is so as this end can pass all the way through. So what we've got to do now is we're going to assemble the collet in that. Right, this doesn't have to go tight, we're just going to pinch it up, right, because we'll compress all this down in a minute. Now next would be the tube, but I want to do something a little bit different this time. I want to add a piece of 22mm copper tube in, to help take this curve out as well, because the curve just seems to be memory locked. So I'm just going to go work this piece of tube and I'll be back and show you it. Nothing overly special. I just thought it would be nice to add, I guess, give it a bit more of a steampunk look, possibly, if that's, you know, something you're into achieving. I quite like steampunk, so I don't mind. Right, now next what I want to do is disassemble the wider end. What I'm going to do is a little bit fiddly. Right? We're going to nut, compression olive. That's what these are for. I find they give it a bit more support, but that end isn't very cleanly cut, so just gonna cut that down nicer. In the end, and then up onto here. This will then get slid over, and the idea is we want to be able to see the drips in the little sight glass, and I think it will look pretty. So off camera I just trimmed this plastic tube down just a little bit. It should be the right length. I hope it's the right length. Whether this actually works how I want it to, I don't know. It might not. So, compression joint assembled, and final bit is this. So I'm just going to go tighten this up off camera and I'll be back. And there it is. So what I'm going to be doing on this build is I'm going to be using a fuel pump, which will be coming up here. It's a 3 psi diaphragm pump. This will be my gating valve. Then you can see tube comes down through there, so I can sight it in, and then 8mm going off to the actual heater. And there you go. There's my little dripper sight valve. And this is it. It's sort of held in position on the new heater. So the pump will be up here, gate valve, dripper into the new heater. It's a simple thing. It's a little bit flexy at the minute because I haven't fixed everything in place, but it's a simple drip valve. I like it. What more can I say?